What is up, guys? It is Will here, back again. I'm here for another episode of Figures and Flicks.
Hey,
food. Remember, Justin, we always did that. It was figures and flicks
Yep.
and food and fun and philosophy. And that could be what we do tonight. Dude, remember though, I always started with the stream with, so Justin. Like, I know I gotta do that again. So let me start over. So Justin, how awake are you on a scale of 1 to 10, bro? Because you live in the future. And what time is it over there? Like 8 a.m., 9 a.m.?
It's not that early. It's
Okay.
9. It's not that early, luckily, no.
But
I
you
saw the
stay
comments
awake
are like,
super late, bro.
yeah, usually like I'm answering because I answer all my comments, so I'm usually up until like 3 or 4 at least. But last night I knew that I was streaming with Will, so I was like, well, I got to get to bed early.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I did.
Gotta get those Z's, dude. Gotta get the Z's.
Damn right.
Dude, I don't know how you answer all the I answer all the comments, and I've done that for the longest time. I've tried to follow your lead on that, and I normally do a pretty good job, but lately I'm like, dude, this is getting difficult. Like, I don't know how you do it. You have 600K subs, and I can't even keep up. I don't know how you do it, dude.
It's magic. It's an art form.
I need like ChatGPT to type my replies to people, bro.
Hey, YouTube, if you all want to put that in there, then I wouldn't say no. But usually, I got to be brief with my replies. It's my quickest, my easiest. But sometimes it warrants a longer reply than I sit there. But it takes me like 10, 15 minutes. Because if you do that the night before, I just scroll back to where I was the night before and then go from there and then do that every day. And it doesn't overwhelm me. Maybe a couple hundred comments shouldn't take that long.
Dude, normally what I will do is if I feel like I am like struggling with the comments, like I just like I give it a break for a little bit and then I'm good. So yeah.
Then you come back to it.
And yeah, we should be good, dude. So Travis said unclear if your SM7B is working. My audio sound fine, Justin?
Sounds fine to me.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, if there's any issue, let me know, and I could try to unplug something and replug. But anyway, but yeah, man, usually the comments that will get me a little bit more is the ones that will like accuse me of something, and then I'll be like, well, now I got to type a longer reply. They'll be like, well, Will doesn't understand blah blah blah, or Will doesn't do X Y Z, and I'm like, well, now you're getting a longer reply. He baited me.
There have been some heated ones recently, like Spider-Man 2099. Some people were like, Justin, how dare you? You ruined it now with the fabric. What did you do? It was so much better before. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So those are the ones that a little bit longer reply.
Gotcha.
Because there are a couple of things that I didn't mention in the figure preview video for 2099. Now that they're putting fabric over the outfit, it might actually pose more. Because they don't have to care about the aesthetics of the joints. They can look as ugly as they want underneath the fabric. So they can have huge cuts. They can go even further now. Maybe.
Just bear with me. I'm testing the mic out. Supposedly it sounds like I'm in an empty room. So I'm not
There's
sure.
an echo, but I thought that was normal.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Doesn't sound like your audio is going through your mic. Okay, I'll have to test it. I'll get Justin to talk about some shit, and then I'll change my mic. I promise I'll get it sorted out, and then we'll kind of fix everything. So
we'll do it at some point.
Well, dude, this is what live streaming is, bro. This is what live streaming is.
Exactly.
But Justin, let's get into our first topic. I want to ask you a question here. And I'll let you speak so I can fix my mic while you talk. So are we putting too much faith in Hot Toys to produce high quality rooted hair? And I want to bring up something real quick because let's see here. They put out a video recently and that Sideshow has now put out on their own channel. And it's the artisan video, just Howard Chan talking about Hot Toys, stuff like that. Hot Toys have never really done this quality of rooted hair before, Justin. I want to ask the question. We get in on a lot. We don't have much of a track record, so to speak. But with Hot Toys, they've never done this type of rooted hair before. Are we being too confident that they're going to do a good job? What do you think about this?
I kind of wish we were doing this after I reviewed that Wonder Woman, because that Wonder Woman was just shipped yesterday. It only just came out in Hong Kong. It was out in China before the Hong Kong release. So it just dropped in Hong Kong. I think that'll be the first real test because that's using the wool hair implantation, as they call it. So I want to wait and see what that Wonder Woman is like, and then I can probably more confidently say, like, yeah, no, they can do it. Limited, I think, is key because I don't think this can be done by machine. Most of the paint processes that Hot Toys use for head sculpts isn't actually paint. It's printing. So they print that stippled skin texture on the surface of the skin. The eyes, if they're moving eyes, it's actually easier for them because they can print the decals on the eyes then put them in the head sculpt after versus having to paint them around inside the sculpt. So hair can't be done by machine, it has to be done by hand. And it has to be very precise. I don't know if this is using some kind of wig where it's all like one piece and then it's just applied over the top so that they can mass produce, because I can't imagine it's very easy mass producing and making sure that every single one is the same as the one that came before it. They've never done rooted hair well or properly. They've only ever done what's called doll style hair, which is the head sculpt has a bunch of holes in it and it's clumps of hair that sticks. It's basically how they do Barbie, but the hair quality was not as good as Barbie. It's very synthetic, very thick. The strands are not quite as thin as they should be if it's 1/6 scale hair. So if we're basing it on that previous track record, like the Black Widows, etc., there was a reason that they moved away from rooted hair. It's because they couldn't do it well. Now we're seeing this. I just have the question that if they feel confident that they can do this at scale, why did they not do it 3 years ago? Then they wouldn't even be InArt. If they could do it the whole time, they should have been doing it. It kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit because it's like, hang on, you could do this all along, but only just now they're like, yeah, all right, you got us. We may as well just do it. Like,
Right.
You wouldn't even have you wouldn't even have InArt. You wouldn't even have anyone else trying to do rooted hair because Hot Toys like, oh, we innovated, but they don't. Yeah, it's like they didn't feel like doing that. So when I get that Wonder Woman, I will let you know if I think that they can do the shorter style rooted hair like Joker and Anakin well. But what I saw in person at Hong Kong was definitely better than what I saw on the Sideshow Con video. That was like boofy, huge, full. Could have been humidity or travel on the plane. He fuzzed up a little bit, but they thinned it out a lot for the Hong Kong convention. So we'll see.
And Justin, does sound any different at all?
I don't hear as much echo now.
Okay. Well, guys, let me know in the chat below, because if I need to, Justin, sometimes what will happen is I'll have to leave Melon, come back into Melon, and then you'll just be by yourself for like 30 seconds. So you'll just chat with the people and then I'll rejoin if need be. But dude, so the artisan line to me is super interesting because you mentioned a really good point. I think the question is, was Hot Toys motivated enough to change anything? Because yeah, I'm not sure, bro, that they really were. So I'm not sure that they really were until InArt came and filled the void. And they were like, there is maybe they thought there wasn't a market for people to pay premium prices. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking it might have been. Until InArt came in and they were like, yeah, like now we have something for sure where, we have something where people are willing to pay for premium and die cast and rooted hair and whatever. And Hot Toys was like, okay, well now InArt was the guinea pig. So we can say, okay, let's do it too. But what do you think about that, Justin? By the way, I'm going to leave the chat and come back, and I promise I'm not going to abandon you. But this is what happens. Audio is the same, so it's probably using my webcam. I promise you the settings are right, but apparently
probably just the browser. Oh, there you go.
Is that better?
Perfect. It's resolved.
Resolve it. I'm going to leave you alone, guys. Thank you so much. Treat over. So we're gonna end it there.
Wow, so much more bass now, Will. Ooh.
Is it better? Is it better?
Oh, it's a lot better.
Hey, Travis, thank you, bro. I think whoever pointed that out first, Travis, whoever, thank you, and thank you all for contributing, because I would never have known.
Wow,
Justin wouldn't have known either. So thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Dude, this is a $400 mic. I mean, like, I got a
beautiful mic.
Dude, you got to get one, man. I'm telling you.
I think I might have to, although I'm using a little DJI. I don't know if it sounds good or
it sounds good.
You can let me know.
But it's like, dude, it's like artisan line. Like you don't know what you're experiencing until you actually get it. But dude, by the way, man, I think that so my thing with this Joker, now that I can talk freely and not worry about my
yeah.
So I think, dude, Hot Toys was clearly pushed with the InArt line. They were like, okay, we're seeing what they're doing here. They got people's attention. Clearly, it's one figure. I get that, but the community was, dude, you knew, Justin. You reviewed the prototypes. You were following it very closely, I'm sure. When InArt dropped that first figure, and of course now the others like Aragorn, dude, the community goes wild. It's like people are like, this is new, this is exciting, this is cool. And now we have Hot Toys kind of stepping in, and the same thing has happened because everyone's raising the bar collectively. And that's, I think, what's really cool about this. But back to the question, do we trust them to do this rooted hair well? Because Justin, I maintain you've reviewed way more figures than me. You've owned way more figures. But I got to ask the question, have they ever done rooted hair well?
Never.
Like, yeah, never.
Not in my opinion, because some people might like, some of the previous ones, but I don't think so.
Right. Someone said, "Is your mic rooted?" Apparently, so it was the old Hot Toys rooting. But no, so that's my thing, Justin. So look, if we're of the opinion, I think I'm with you. I've not owned every Hot Toy, but the ones I have owned that have been rooted, and the ones I've seen that have been rooted, I don't think Hot Toys has ever really done rooted hair well. So we're putting a lot of faith in them to do this rooted hair well when they've proven in the past that they have never done it well before. So that's kind of the point I want to bring up, that I've been as critical as InArt in terms of release schedule and putting up new things or whatever as anyone, but I also think I'm wondering if it might be a little hypocritical for us to criticize InArt and say, well, they've only released one figure, blah, 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 but then also say, well, Hot Toys is going to nail this rooted hair thing when they've never done it before. They've never nailed rooted hair before. Like, and you know what I mean? Am I onto something?
I know exactly what you mean. And I think that's more than fair. But I never understood that whole InArt thing, ooh, can they do it? They had already been doing it as Queen Studios for years, doing rooted hair statues and even short hair rooted hair statues with the wool hair.
That's
so
true.
They had been doing it for 5 years at that point. So it wasn't suddenly they come out of nowhere. They've been around for a while.
It's not like they were Star Ace and they were like, we got this new rooted strategy. You know what I mean? It wasn't that.
Yeah. Look, I think Hot Toys, they probably are not using the same factories as they couldn't, because I don't think you need some highly skilled workers to be able to do this kind of wool hair implantation, whatever. So I think probably this limited run thing. By the way, this video was playing on repeat at the convention. They had screens all around the Hot Toys booth.
Really?
Howard Chan was there and he was also on the screen. I just don't like the part in the video where he's like, other companies have made a 1/6 scale Joker and the proportions are not right. Do you really have to talk down competition? I've never liked that. In Western marketing, it's kind of a no-no, but I know in Asian culture and Asian marketing, it's you want to assert that you're the best, and sometimes that means talking down the competition. But for me, I've always been told, Justin, if you just be better, don't say that you're
Gotcha.
better.
Be better,
you know
don't
what
say
I mean?
better.
They kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it was just playing on repeat right there in front of me.
On repeat, they were like, proportions are wrong. The proportions.
It didn't stop that video. It's not like they had any other videos going on. It's just that video. This Wonder Woman, I think, will be the tell. I wish she was here. Then I'll be like, here it is.
When does she get there for you, Justin? Is she coming soon?
Should be maybe even tomorrow, I would say. And
then
we
DHL though, because if it's DHL, it's probably never going to show. So
probably never. I've got 2 DHL coming actually, and you'll see him because this is the front door. So you'll see him, and then will believe that they can sometimes.
It's like the Tooth Fairy, dude. The Tooth Fairy showing up at your door. It's like
my DHL guy hates me because he's here pretty much every day, and I'm like, hi, and he grab the, I have a nice day, and he just doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he's like, I to get on my face, bye. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't like that company either, working for them. So it's I understand his.
Like, look, sometimes I have to show, sometimes I don't. I never know.
Right. It's true, dude. 100%. It's like they're flaky, man. But I don't know, dude. With this rooted hair, I think the last thing I want to address on this one, Justin, I think, is the idea that these are exclusive almost out of necessity. I'm wondering if that's the case. Do you think that that's the case?
I don't think they can make 10, 20,000 of these in a short amount of time. I think that it would take them 2-3 years to fulfill a pre-order if they were making as many as they were the sculpted version, perhaps. So I think they need to keep this limited. They just upped it though, because Howard was like, hey, more people want it than... There was a brawl in Hong Kong. I'm not sure if you saw that.
A brawl?
At ACGHK. Yes, no, seriously. The police had to come and get involved because I'm not sure if it was the Kamen Rider figures, because they only had 100 of them at the convention, or if it was the rooted hair Anakin and Joker, but they sold out like that. And there was a fist fight. Because people were like, what the hell? Because they had been lining up for hours at that point.
Right.
Like 5 hours. And then they were like, yeah, nah, bro, you're not getting any. So you can find it on Facebook. There was literally a brawl at the outside the Hot Toys booth. The police had to get involved because people couldn't get their shit. So, yeah, I think they do have to be limited. And I think that's going to upset some people because a lot of people have been waiting. There's like this type of collector who's like, I only collect Hot Toys. And that's fine if that's your vibe, but they're maybe going to miss out. And that's not ideal because a lot of people do want this. And if they could make more, I think they would, but they're experimenting. And I don't know if they are confident that they could make 10, 20,000 of these. So they limited it. And who's to say that they don't up it again? Like Howard just upped it. He could up it again if he feels like it.
So I don't even think I saw that, Justin. How many did the Joker go up? Do you know?
100, I think. So not that many.
Oh, that's not much then. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not that many.
It's only like 4K worldwide. So maybe it's now 4,100, something like that. Yeah,
could be. I think it was 700 in Hong Kong and now it's 800, or if it was 6, now it's 7, but it's 100 more.
And Justin, you saw the Sideshow pre-order for this is coming next Thursday at 9 a.m. California Pacific.
That site is going to crash.
Dude, it's going to be a war zone. Like I can just imagine.
These drops.
What'd you say the drops?
Yeah, how they do these drops.
Right.
It encourages people who don't even really want it to try it. Like the Advanced Suit 2.0. So many people were saying, "Oh, I don't want it, but I'm going to try anyway. And if I get it, then I get it." It's like, but you don't. You just said you don't want it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I think this will be the same thing.
It does, and we'll talk about this a little bit with the exclusivity thing, but it does kind of incentivize in a way some FOMO, and also people kind of, at that point, people say they don't view it as an investment. You do at that point because you're like, I'm not
at that point you do.
Buying this. Like it's I'm probably going to make money, right? If you wanted to flip it, you could sell it. For me, this Joker, like honestly, I have a lot of friends who want it. So for me, I'm not going to try to buy it for me, but I am going to try to buy it. So if I have I have multiple friends who want it and they don't end up getting it, I'll just sell it to them for cost. Like I'll just be like, okay, cool.
There you go.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And I think there would be a lot of people out there who are willing to do that. Or maybe there's a channel member or someone out here that really, really wants it or something, and I have one and I'll sell it to them for what I paid. So yeah, other than that, but I don't know, man. I don't know, Justin. I think this looks really, really good. However, I will say, I can pull it up, but that sculpted version looks fantastic. That Hot Toys sculpted version. Like, honestly, when I saw that, I was like, damn. Dude, I think, Justin, maybe we'll talk about this a little bit, but I kind of think that the Hot Toys sculpted head sculpt might be better than InArt. But I think InArt
maybe
better.
Yeah, maybe. But there are two. I really like the smirking InArt one. That subtle little... little subtle little smirk. But we have to wait and see, because don't forget some of the sculpts that have looked really good and then have come out not so great.
Yeah.
But then also vice versa, some prototypes looked not so great and then they came out fantastic. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll reserve judgment on the sculpt for the softening process, because all of that skin texture, I've never seen a Hot Toys figure. I've never received a Hot Toys figure with that level of skin texture ever. It's usually quite soft, and then all of the skin texture is just paint. They fake it with paint, and it works well, but nothing can compare to having that real, like, the pores and the little mottled, dimples in the skin. Usually they are quite soft. They're getting more and more adventurous with how deep they're sculpting that texture. So I'm thinking that with figures coming out maybe next year, we are going to see more HDness in those sculpts.
HDness. Yeah, dude.
HDness.
That's
okay.
But I think so, and that'll lead us into one of our next topics once I hit some of these super chats. But I think InArt is having an effect. Clearly, I think it's I think there's something going on here that we can look into in terms of trends. But Justin, we'll jump to our next topic. But before we do that, I have a couple super chats I want to address real quick. So thank you guys so much for donating to the channel. It's so amazing of you, Lane Kramer. Dude, I don't know if you heard, he's a lazy man, Justin. He has really all.
Hey.
He's got all of them. Hey, Justin, thanks to you and Ryan for the pictures from HK Con. What, Justin, is your most anticipated figure from Showcase?
Ooh.
Wait, which Showcase? The
ACGHK, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dude, for me, it's Prey. It's the Feral.
Oh, you got me too.
Dude, Justin, you saw that in person. How good was it in person?
Look, the joints might bother you. The knees, especially if you bend the knees. But that was not my biggest takeaway. My biggest takeaway was the size. I did not realize how big he was supposed to be. He's like only a little bit shorter than Venom. He's huge.
Really?
He's an absolute beast. Yeah, seriously. It was that big. So I was just overwhelmed by the presence and the dreads, because they sculpted them in this kind of crazy way. They were exciting to look at. Once you pose him right, just like all of the other Predators have had exposed joints as well. So it's nothing new. I think that it will look good in the right pose, just like the Scorpion and Sub-Zero from... Who do we get those from, Will? From Collectibles. Yeah. So I think the presence outweighs the exposed joints thing. Would I have liked them to do the Venom style body? Yes, of course. It would have been the ideal situation. they have time. It's not up for pre-order yet. So
Yeah.
I think Prey is a pretty good number one, but my number two, not that you all asked, Kane and John Wick. They need to happen. Like, seriously.
Well, yeah, I think they will, don't you? I would be surprised if they
Sure.
didn't announced. I mean, dude, it looked a lot. The John Wick looked way better than the first one. Like the first John Wick.
Yeah, of course.
Dude,
that first one.
that first
Oh
one,
my god.
I sold mine eventually. I was like, I just am not feeling. I wanted a John Wick so bad, but I was like, I'm not willing to accept this. Like this, it needs to be better than this. Yeah.
I don't think anyone who still has that Hot Toys figure still has that Hot Toys head sculpt on that body.
Yeah, they got the Max Nut or something else, and throw it on there. Yeah, it's just, but the rest of the figure is great. The tailoring, everything else is good.
Oh, for sure. Weapons are awesome.
Yeah,
base is pretty good. It's got that kind of metallic effect to it, but the head sculpt,
yeah, just questionable. Thanks so much, Lane, bro. For me, it's just that, dude. That's crazy. That Predator is as big as Venom, almost.
It's huge.
I thought he was like a normal 12-inch figure. Yeah, but
no. He's like, I don't know inches, but he's like 14 to 16. Wow. I just made that up. I don't know.
No, that makes sense because Venom is like maybe a couple inches shorter than Carnage. Carnage is like 7, almost 8.
Yeah, not quite Carnage big.
Yeah. Carnage is massive, bro. So I got to think about. I think that Predator will fit in my case, but I'll make it work because I need that Predator, bro. I need him. So, but yeah, the joints don't really bother me as much. But we got a super chat from Mr. Riley Reviews.
Hey, Riley.
Hey, Riley. I know you met Riley at Vegas, Justin.
I did.
So pretty cool.
We had dinner. We had a steak dinner. It was excellent.
Nice. I have to shout out Justin's vid on the Jazz Inc. 2022 Batmobile. That intro gave me chills. Can't wait to receive my clean one. I saw it too, Justin. It was pretty great, man.
Oh, dude, that intro. I've been watching. I don't watch my own videos. I hate my own videos, but I watched that intro a couple of times. I'm like, damn. I'm really proud of that intro. My buddy Sofa and I came over, and we were just when he came over in the morning, I was like, okay, so we're gonna do this shoot. Let's do the intro last because we'll get all the other stuff out the way first, and then we can just focus on making the best intro possible because we knew we wanted to recreate that moment from the film shot for shot or as close as possible because it pans over to like Penguin and stuff in the movie. So we were like, okay, so the whole day we were filming and it's quite difficult to film big vehicles. And then we got to the point where we'd finished everything and we're like, oh yes. So we busted out all of our lights. We switched the backdrop to black and it was the best thing ever. I got some new lights actually, specifically for this shoot. They are brilliant. They're like these little mini LED panels and they've got effects. So I don't know if I want to blind anyone. But they are extremely bright. They also have like you can do flashing or like police sirens.
Justin, who makes that? Is it Aperture?
It's a company called Small Rig. But
they're great.
I took these to Hong Kong as well. So I don't know if you all know, but convention lighting is awful. Really, really bad. So at the Hot Toys booth, when they had for the press day that we went to, they still kept press behind I don't know, like a 1 foot barrier perhaps. So you couldn't get quite as close as you wanted, but the lighting was awful because they were just on a table outside of the cases. So Ryan and I were holding these at the prototypes, like at various angles as we were shooting the prototypes. And the Hot Toys staff were like, what the hell are these guys doing? But the results don't lie. Our pictures turned out really, really good.
They did, dude.
I rate it $50 Australian. So that's like $20 US. This is the best purchase I've made in a while. I bought 3 of these things and I used them for everything that the big LED panels can't do. So getting into tight spaces. There was a shot in that video where my camera was inside the car. So you could get like a first person perspective and that light was shining through the top so it would illuminate the inside of the cockpit. But I'm really proud of that shot too. So thank you, Riley. I love that video. I'm very, very happy with it.
Dude, it looks pretty great, man. And I think it's pretty exciting just to have the Jazz Inc. Batmobile in person. Dude, that piece has been a while in the making. I know Riley's super excited. He loves the Batman, bro. He loves the Batman.
That smoke generator wheel, that is the coolest thing that I think
I mean, Hot Toys would never do that. They would never do something like that. They wouldn't bother. Yeah, they wouldn't bother. Do most collectors care, though, is the question. I think they probably do. I mean,
that's because it's just water. Like, you don't have to get a specialized fluid or anything. You just drop some water in, a couple of drops, and then just push the button. Like, if you're using the lights, I reckon you're going to use the vape. Like, it's just so cool. You push it. Even Steph was like, whoa, okay. That's pretty cool. And she never looks at collect. Like she looked at that Spidey statue I got yesterday. She's like, "Oh yeah, when'd you get that?" I'm like, okay.
She's like,
Okay.
she's just so whatever about it. She's like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, I don't care. She's like, there's just another Spider-Man to me.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that Batmobile, Budget Stark was over. Actually, we had dinner. He's in Australia at the moment.
Oh, nice.
We had dinner with his family, and then they came over here after. We had some cake and tea, and he was like, "What's that box?" And I was like, "That's a Jazz Inc. Batmobile." He was like, "Can we open it?" And I was like, "Okay." So we opened it together, and then we were all collectively, like his sons, Steph, I was standing there, even Budget's wife was standing there, and we fired it up, and we were like, "Oh damn!" Like the smoke generator is just the coolest thing. It gets everyone, no matter what age you are, it'll get you. I promise.
Gotcha, dude. That's pretty dope, man. Well, Justin, you know what we got to talk about? Exclusivity.
Yes.
Because exclusivity is something we just talk about, whether it's a matter of necessity, whether it's a matter of choice, whether it's a matter of preference for Hot Toys. Maybe they're trying to correct the market that's been going on for the last couple of years. Maybe they're trying to limit the amount of figures they take in for orders in terms of their artisan line, just because, you know what, that's going to be hard to do. It's going to be hard to route those figures and maintain that quality. That said, we have some pre-orders that are dropping soon. And of course, like you said, they did add 100 to it. That's great. But as far as Sideshow and how many they're getting, we don't really know. We know Anakin is dropping next Friday. We know Joker's dropping next Thursday for US people, people who buy from Sideshow in general. But I'm wondering, is exclusivity going to backfire? Because Justin, I think this is almost a little bit of the best and worst of collecting. I think that's going to happen here. I think for one, this is going to be something that people are going to have to change and adapt with, because it's going to be a rude awakening. Because Spider-Man, look, like you said, Advanced 2.0 Spider-Man, Miles Morales, yeah, people care, but they don't give a fuck like they do with Joker. They care like Joker or Anakin. That's a whole different game. And when there's going to be a lot of people who want these figures who don't end up getting these figures because they sell out in 5 seconds, this is good. This is very different. Hot Toys collectors are not used to this. They're not used to this type of market. And I'm wondering, Hot Toys is trying to create a little bit of engagement and excitement about their brand, and of course, limit production again to maintain quality. But Justin, is this going to piss more people off than it actually does good? What do you think?
I just watched the Beanie Baby movie recently, Will. I don't know if you've seen it on Apple TV.
No, that exists? Why does that exist?
It's really good.
I
knew nothing about Beanie Babies because we didn't have them in Australia. We literally, and the movie explains why. But they were having a kind of the reverse crisis. So they were doing these drops and they were limited. And once they sold out, the collectors, they went up in value. But the CEO, his stance was, I hate the collector. I do not like this limited thing. And they did the opposite. They produced more and more and more and more. And eventually it became so commoditized that everyone, literally they said like, I don't know, it was like 75% of the population had at least one Beanie Baby or something like that. Got so commoditized that nobody cared anymore. And the bubble burst, as they say. Now, Hot Toys are not quite the same as Beanie Babies, but I think that this is kind of necessary. And let's be honest, even if they do like limited stuff in the past, even if it has sold out one way or another, you can get it. If it's eBay or if it's Facebook Marketplace or if it's Mercari or whatever after the fact, once they've been released, then one way or another, if you want it, you are probably going to be able to get it from somewhere. They're not limited enough. They're not like making 20 of them, for example.
Right.
They're making it in the thousands, and Hot Toys the collecting community, if you will, is not that big. I'd say we're a good 20, 30,000 people. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less, depending on geographical location, but the really active collectors who buy everything, because not everyone buys everything.
Right.
If you're going to be able to pick up every single one of them, that's a question mark. I don't know. But I think exclusivity is actually the way forward. Not for everything, but for certain figures, those chase items, if you will, it keeps people talking. Like, people have non-stop been talking about Joker and Anakin, right? Like, endlessly.
Yep.
There's fist fights at conventions. Like, you can't buy that type of hype, like that type of engagement from your community. And yeah, it pisses some people off, but they're definitely going to tune into the next one because they're, oh, shit, I missed out that first time. It's not like they're suddenly going to go up and sell the stuff. Bloody Hot Toys. Because the only one you're punishing if you get rid of everything is yourself. Hot Toys don't care. So
right.
honestly, I think that the writing was on the wall with this. Yeah, I think it was bound to happen.
I think so too, man. I think this was bound to happen eventually, and I think this was going to be an inevitable outcome. I mean, and again, this, like you said, Justin, the type of hype that you cannot buy. Like, this is something that is crucial for Hot Toys. And again, this is how you get, I think, more people into Hot Toys that are not currently in, because there's always, like, if they've announced it's just regular and it's like, okay, it's a normal release, whatever, then it's the same people buying over and over and over again. But when you create something exclusive, you create some demand. Now you're bringing eyeballs into the into the community. And like you said, if it's 20 to 30,000 of really engaged collectors, how many people might be engaged if you engage them? If you actually get something that's really going to be exciting and grab them. Again, like I always give the example, Star Wars Theory, a huge YouTube channel, right? He brought up the Anakin thing, said he was going to try to get it and pre-order it because he was like, yeah, I have a few Hot Toys here and there, but he just loves Anakin. And he saw this and he was like, this is amazing. And it's exclusive and rare and I want it. Right.
I hope he gets it because I'd like to see his video on it.
Well, I would assume even if he doesn't get it, he will get it because he will find a way to pay for it. Yeah.
Like I said, like even figures like D23 Captain America back in the day when that came out, I didn't get to go to D23, but after the convention was over, I just went on eBay and I bought one. It was flooded with D23 Captain. Same thing with that Spidey from D23. I went on eBay after the convention was over and I picked one up. I would have loved to have been at D23. I wasn't. But there was a way to get it. I saw someone, Jimmy said, this is good. Not all collectors deserve an Anakin anyway.
Savage,
it's not
bro.
like that. It's
Jimmy,
not like that,
savage,
Jimmy.
Bro. Come on now.
Damn, Jimmy.
No,
it's not like
no
that,
fucking
Jimmy.
dude. Ruthless. That's what he
collectors, say if you're a Star Wars collector, you've been waiting for an Anakin for years, you're going to find a way to get it. If you have to miss out on 5 Bark Speeders and 25 501st Troopers to be able to get your Anakin, I think that that's worth the sacrifice, to be totally honest. This is not going to be every single figure, I don't think.
Right. Yeah. I don't think so either. It's not going to be every single figure. It's going to be these artisan sort of exclusive rare figures. It's going to be the top tier characters that they want to do rooted, that they know there's demand for, and then they'll go with that. I don't think it's going to backfire. I think it's going to backfire in a small way temporarily, but long term, as people adjust to the change. I've seen the comment rather thrown out quite a bit that it's going to push collectors away because they're not going to be able to acquire the things they want to acquire. I don't think Hot Toys is that stupid. I think they know better. I think what they're going to do is, again, offer sculpted versions of all these characters. So should you want one, you'll be able to get it. Like that Anakin, they're going to make another sculpted one. It's going to be the same figure. They're just going to put that new head sculpt and sculpted hair on it. And people will be like, oh shit, this looks amazing. That's what they did with this Joker. And it looks amazing. Like there's going to be a lot of people who just want that one.
With Anakin, it would have been very easy to do swap out eyes. Very easy.
Think so? Yeah, because I thought about that. Well, clearly they're making a second one. Yeah,
there will be a dark side. I'm just wondering what happened to that that Anakin that we saw with the 501st clones that was pictured with Kenobi, like with the different, like the non-pleather outfit. I'm wondering why they ditched the non-pleather for the sake of this. I mean, this artisan line, it totally should have been genuine leather all day long.
Right.
I mean,
I think so too. I think everyone pretty much accepts that was a missed opportunity, at least so far.
100%.
Like, why not? Like, if you're gonna go premium, why not go all the way? And again, what the Joker's price of what he's gonna be is basically half of what InArt is, but you get 2 figures with InArt. So it's pretty much the same price. And InArt probably has more premium features. Like it has, the die-cast weapons, the magnets. Again, yeah, I mean, it's
wooden base, diorama.
Yeah, the wooden base, like the big ass diorama base, that wooden base in general. Like that thing is massive, bro. I mean, it's huge. I have it right in the center of my display because it looks so cool. Like it's massive. Yeah, it's massive. But yeah, I don't think it's going to backfire, guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I've been meaning to post polls, but I keep forgetting, so I'm going to post them. But yeah, we got some super chats I'll address real quick. Let's see here. Let's see, because dude, that's the one thing with melon, it makes it a little bit harder to get where I need to get. So
I've never used this melon before. I honestly, maybe I should switch over because it seems a little bit more intuitive. Like I was able to pick my resolution in the video, but every time I'm on StreamYard, my video turns out potato quality is I don't know what happened, but this I look pretty clear, I think.
Dude, you do, man. And you do. You're clear as ever. And like I said, dude, and it's like a quarter of the price. So if you guys are getting into live streaming, consider melon.
Go.
Dude.
Okay.
But guys, I will say before I just a super chat, Justin has agreed to answer these, but I want to make it clear. I want to try to avoid Toys Wonderland super chats. I appreciate you guys sending in super chats, but I want to kind of try to keep it to the topics that we have going on. That said, Justin, we have one.
Yes.
Mike Litteris said, Justin, your brand has become synonymous with Toys Wonderland for better or worse. What changes have you seen to reassure your audience that they can be trusted to deliver in a proper manner moving forward?
Right. Okay. So I've been doing a couple of things previously, like last year, for example. Everything that I got was Toys Wonderland straight away. I'm not blind. I see the feedback online. Of course I do, which led me to go physically to Toys Wonderland in Hong Kong. So Philip is the owner of Toys Wonderland. I've known him since he started his business in 2019. I went to their offices. For those of you who don't know, my background is business and business transformation. So this is right in my wheelhouse, trying to help him for the sake of everyone who orders from them, because the last thing I want is this situation to continue. Shit customer service is shit for everyone. And I'm not about that. So basically, that was an exploratory trip to see, do I continue with or do I continue without? When I was there, I looked at the CRM, I looked at the metrics. The vast majority of orders, fine. But yes, there are problems, of course. So we came up with a plan. I outlined it for him. He has a certain amount of months to fix the things that I outlined for him. Otherwise, we will be having a completely different conversation. So no, I am not doing nothing. But in the meantime, I have confidence that if you order from them, they will deliver your items. They have hired new staff, an operations manager, which they didn't have previously. Bad idea. You need an operations manager. They now have one. And recently, as of the past few months, there have been significantly less complaints. Still not saying they're perfect, and I'm still doing my best to create that separation where possible so that this doesn't happen. I don't want my legacy, all of my videos, all of the work that I put into hours worth of work into those videos to just be connected to a company that sometimes does not have great customer service. That's quite disheartening, considering that my videos, like 1 second mention of that company and then the entire 30-minute video that I've spent hours making. And I know that that sounds like I'm complaining. It's my fault for working with them, whatever. But seriously, I'm doing my best to make sure that everything that is ordered from them, because it does reflect badly on me, is delivered. Will I continue to work with them if they don't fix those problems that I've outlined? Well, like I said, that's an entirely different conversation that I have to have with them. But right now, I'm confident that everything that I've suggested will fix their problems. If they do those things, good. If they don't, stay tuned. I will let you know exactly what's going on, I promise. But I can't address on my channel every single issue, like, oh, my order is shipped late.
Right.
I can't address every single one of those because the vast majority of people, like I said, don't have problems. If you don't believe me, I understand, that's perfectly fine. Some people are really not going to like what I have to say here, but I can't please everyone. I'm literally doing the best that I can. I want everyone who spent money to get their shit. And as long as I'm not seeing people being literally scammed, money being taken, and you're not getting it, then I'm going to have faith that they will do that, because it's their reputation too. Who wants to have a fucked reputation? Nobody.
It's just not
right?
a good look. Yeah.
It's not a good look, because suppliers will pull out, wholesalers will pull out, YouTubers will pull out. Nobody wants anyone to have a bad reputation. Like last week, for example, not a single one of my videos mentioned Toys Wonderland, because like I said, I want to create that separation just in case those issues aren't fixed. So get you all used to me working with other companies, and I do work with other companies. I've even been going direct. 3.0, I go direct. Mondo, I go direct. So where I can, I buy directly. But that's the situation as it stands. Will it change? Yeah, maybe. But we just have to wait and see, or I'm waiting to see that time period that I've given them and the list of things that they need to fix that I've given them. If they get fixed, which I hope they do, then we'll hopefully be seeing a new Toys Wonderland. If not, like I said, we'll have that different conversation when it comes down to it. D, send me a message on Instagram. I always flick on any customer service issues, people say that they haven't been receiving a response. Handy tip, they answer their emails oldest first. So if you send an email on Friday and you don't get a reply, and then you send another email on Saturday and you don't get a reply, you send another email on Sunday, that makes your email newer and newer and newer and newer and newer, and your email will never get answered because they answer oldest first.
Interesting.
Send one, and then if they don't reply on Monday, then you can send another one. But if you keep sending a new one every day, which folks in the US do because they expect a response like that, don't forget Hong Kong, time difference, etc. Send one and wait a little bit. I know it's challenging to do that, but if it's the weekend, they're not working. So send one, and that way they'll answer orders first. I'm so sorry, Will, that my presence here has brought up this kind of situation. I know you really don't like Toys Wonderland, and I don't want to talk about it either, but people accuse me of hiding or whatever. I'm not hiding. I just want to get on with it. And I told you, I have a plan. I've been working on it in the background. It's not like I'm doing nothing. I'm not a moron. I see it and I want to fix it. If I can't fix it, then we'll do something else. That's the entirety of the situation. It's not a conspiracy. I can get figures from other places, just that I've got a good deal with them, and I've been working with them since 2019. That's the only reason why I'm sticking with them for now. But it can definitely change. There is no reason why it couldn't change. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. We'll see if they can fix the situation. If not, we will investigate other options.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
There's your answer. So again, like I said, Justin answered that pretty clearly and pretty thoroughly at this point, and everyone knows my stance on Toys Wonderland. It's a the situation.
And DHL.
Yeah, DHL especially. DHL especially, bro. Keith, Lisa, congrats to JK, Mrs. Collection, fist bump. So congrats.
Thank you. Is that I think that might be about not figures. I think that might be about we're expecting a little one. I don't know if I haven't really announced it on anything. But if that's what we're talking about, Keith, Steph posted on Facebook. So I guess now it's like...
Dude, I was wondering. I was like, am I supposed to be quiet about this? Because I was like, well, it's a super chat. So, you know.
That's why I'm down here now. We've made some adjustments to where I film. So because we're setting up a nursery. So that is why.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mike Litteris said, I appreciate the fair response. Thank you both. Thank you so much, Mike. And of course, all you guys for sending in generous super chats. Thanks, Justin, for answering those questions, man. I appreciate it. So, guys, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Let's ask the question. Justin, we got to ask the question. Is InArt ultimately having a positive effect on 1/6 collecting? Because, look, we just talked about the Hot Toys thing, right? We just talked about Hot Toys clearly making changes because of InArt, right? Look, we can't prove that. We have no data. We have no verifiable information to go off of. But like you said, if they knew they could have done rooted hair 3 years ago and they didn't and chose not to, it's clearly because they thought either there wasn't a market for
get away with
it, or they just didn't fucking need to, right? They were just like, well, we have no one who can challenge us. Again, Asmus is decent, right? I like Asmus. They're good. Okay, I've never owned a figure, but they're not on Hot Toys level, right?
The first to do tattoos on a seamless body was Asmus.
Well, maybe they're the next. I was gonna say maybe they're next InArt. Maybe they're the first InArt. Maybe they're the first. They're the InArt godfather, basically. I don't, dude. I just feel like when I look at their figures, I'm like, yeah, they're pretty good. They're good, right? But when you see InArt, you're like, damn. And when you see Hot Toys, you're like, damn, that shit is really, really good. So, but when you're thinking about some of these, figures that come with, with all the InArt ones, I mean, I'm just pulling up the list here. We have Joker, we have Batman, we have Pennywise, Gandalf, Harry Potter, Aragorn, Superman's coming. I'm wondering, Justin, overall, InArt has done, I think, a lot of great things for collectors with only delivering one figure. And I'll say why, because I think they've clearly pushed Hot Toys to the point where they've been forced to evolve. And really, it was always like the evolution for Hot Toys was always there. They just never did it. Like they already probably did these figures. And
they never hit that Pokemon like evolve.
Yeah, they never clicked the button to upgrade. Like they had when you're upgrading your character in a video game and you have all those skills, but you have all those points, and you like 50,000 points, but you never upgrade.
Moving eyes, skills, rooted hair, seamless form.
Exactly. And then they just do it all at once. Like that's pretty much what they did. Like they took Kratos and just made him like amazing in one go. Like instead of upgrading, over time, consistently. But Justin, what do you think? I mean, there has been a lot of debate in the community. There has been a lot of debate and a lot of, is Hot Toys better? Is InArt better? And for me, honestly, I just think those conversations are interesting because those are the top two dogs in realism. But Justin, what do you think? I mean, overall, so far, is InArt having a positive effect? Because they also, I think, have made prices go up, I would say. What do you think?
I think the price thing was happening beforehand, but not in Hong Kong, which is very interesting. In Hong Kong, prices are pretty consistent. They have been for a very long time. But it seems like as the years go on, the American distributors are testing it out. They're putting the prices up, but the figure, because the quality is staying the same and the prices in Hong Kong are pretty consistent, you're paying more for the same thing. It's like Marvel Legends, pretty much. The prices for Marvel Legends have been going up too. So it seems like the American collector base is being kind of exploited in that way. And I don't love that because it reflects on Australia too, because whenever you all pay more, we pay more, which is not ideal. Like Marvel Legend here costs upwards of $50 for one. What the hell? Why are we paying $50 for Marvel? Yes.
Dude, it's like half that here. Like it's like 25.
This was $80.
What?
Yes. Seriously,
dude, I don't want to live in Australia. It's not any way to live.
It's really expensive. Well, you don't want to. But yeah, I think that the price thing, I think that was happening irregardless. So I think what actually happened, it was the reverse. So the prices were going up, and then InArt said, "Oh well, you're willing to pay that much. Why don't we make a figure at that price, or just a little bit more, and then we can push it up even further?" So I think that's what's happening there. But I don't know if it's not InArt's fault, obviously. But I don't think it's having as much of a positive effect on the community. On figure production, yes, because it's forcing Hot Toys to evolve. But I have never seen more division between collectors. It's like, oh, you like the InArt? Oh, well, F you. Like, what Hot Toys has been making for years. You should be supporting Hot Toys. It's not like that. You can have both. It's not like, you're like, oh, you use Android phone. How dare you? It's Apple all the way. It's not one or the other.
PlayStation and Xbox, yeah, that's been going on.
PlayStation and Xbox, there's always, right now, because there's only 2 big names that are licensed, that's how it be. It's like, you like that one? Well, Hot Toys is the one for me. So you can like both, or you can like neither. It's fine. I just think that that's not really healthy. Seeing that level of, like, some people get really aggressive.
Oh,
like,
no doubt.
How dare you? The hair on my Joker was fucked. And that means the company's fucked. It's like, what? Hang on. Wait a second. It's okay. Like, people can like their own, people can like it or not like it. It's fine.
Right.
But we'll have to wait and see. As more companies come in, I think that will lessen. And then we'll start to see more people welcoming the InArt collectors and the J&D 1/6 scale collectors and the Infinity collectors. As more high-end companies come in, I think J&D will probably be at the tippity top end, maybe.
Right.
Then that will start to lessen and soften a little bit, and then we'll start seeing the positive effects of, oh, well, if Hot Toys aren't going to make it, then we know that InArt's going to make it. Or if they're not going to make it, then we know that J&D is going to make it. That's where I want it to be. Where if there's a movie that has come out and people want to figure from it, like Shazam, then I want it to be in a situation where you know that someone is going to make it. And it's not going to be third party.
It's not going to be So-So or someone else.
Quite hit and miss.
Right.
Although it's interesting that So-So and Hot Toys both have a Kamen Rider Black Sun on the market at the same time.
Hot Toys seems to have like a thing against So-So. Like anytime So-So announced something, they're like, fuck those dudes. We're going to make it too. Yeah. Like Classic Loki. Dude, did they have any interest in making Classic Loki until the So-So put one up and they were like, fuck you, So-So. And
I think the So-So one is actually better.
Than
the Hot Toys. Yeah. A Hot Toys head sculpt is obviously better. Like 10 out of 10, that head sculpt is insanely good. Yeah. But the outfit, like the undies on the outside with like this camel toe, like bump on the Hot Toys one. It's like, what are y'all doing? Yeah.
Why does he have a camel toe, dude?
It's real bad. There's too much fabric. There's bunching, and then like the colors don't match on everything. Like on So-So, the cape matches the collar, which matches the belt, which matches the trunks, which matches the collar. Everything matches. It's perfect. But then the Hot Toys one is like, this is different color, and this is it's the hell.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they had that's the way we get the best out of Hot Toys. Some other companies got to come along and make something good. And Hot Toys is like, fuck those dudes. We're going to make something even better. Like that's the only way Howard gets motivated in the morning. I feel like that's, or JC, whoever, like they're like, okay, you know what? We were never going to make that rooted Anakin, but we now are because InArt's making
now we are.
Yeah, right. Exactly, bro. And that's why I feel like overall it's a positive thing. I think just as humans, like the human psyche, anytime there's a significant change going on, people are going to get a little bit tribalistic from time to time, especially when you change the way things are done, you change the quality of things or whatever. People are going to resist that pretty strongly. Some people, right? And, we all do it to a degree. So I think that is happening because we're seeing a lot of change in the 1/6 community right now. I think we're seeing InArt coming in and doing some crazy things and getting people's attention. Then you got the people that are like, oh, well, they haven't done anything. And I've been like that too, but they don't deserve any of your respect and so forth. It goes in extremes in both ways. Right. And
true.
I think it's just the tribalism thing, and also the thing of one of them is shit and one of them's not. Like, it's no different than PlayStation and Xbox, and then anything else that has anything else
true.
that has like any sort of tribalism.
You get
know what I mean?
Red Ring of Death Xbox, for example. Doesn't mean all Xboxes are going to be bad,
because they have more story-driven games that I want to play. But I'm not going to be like, Xbox fucking sucks, dude. Like, I've
got both, so I'm a both guy. I've always been a both guy. So if InArt puts out some cool shit and then Hot Toys answers with their own cool shit, I'm gonna get both, and I'm gonna compare it for you, and then you can decide which one you prefer. But hopefully, this, like you said, the tribal. I like that, by the way, the tribalistic. It makes it sound very, caveman style.
Dude, that's what we all are as collectors. We're just cavemen with the 1-6 figures.
That's true. Hopefully, that dies down a little bit, and everyone can start accepting everyone's vibes. If you like InArt, that's good for you, or whatever. So I'm hoping that happens. But if it doesn't happen, then that'll just keep the fire going. The competition between the two companies, never a bad thing.
And honestly, that's why I create those topics on my show transparently because I think they create interesting discussions. Like, I think they create, it doesn't always have to be a comparison, but I do think when you're talking about the two top players in any industry, you want to make comparisons. Like, I think InArt is probably fucking doing backflips that they're being compared to Hot Toys. They're like, this is great. Like, of course we want to do better than them, but of course it brings them attention. So it's, it brings them publicity, and it's never going to be a bad thing for them. So yeah, man. I think ultimately they're having a really positive effect on the community. It's just hard to see in a time of a change and transition, But when Infinity enters, maybe Infinity Studios, maybe they do it, or maybe J&D, right? At that point, then we have a very serious game where we have 4 significant players coming into the fold, making good shit. Like, dude,
that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I've been told by a company, I spoke to a company that holds a couple of licenses the other night. And I've been told that it's quite hard right now to get licensed. So they make 1/6 scale figures as well.
Okay.
And they said, look, there are other companies, like, we want to make this, but other companies are blocking us from being able to get that license by just upbidding or using their leverage with that company already. So I don't know how many licenses J&D and Infinity are going to be able to get that's not Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers seems to be the only one that's like, take it. Make whatever. Yeah. Matrix Resurrections, Neo, everyone wants to make that. Hell yes.
Let's do it, baby.
Come on. So I'm curious to see if it gets past the Warner Brothers, because we've got Harry Potter, we've got Lord of the Rings. That's all Warner Brothers IP, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think anyone's getting Disney shit except for
no, absolutely not. I think that's locked down, but I'm fine with that because Hot Toys mostly make Disney stuff anyway. I'm just more curious at, like, Game of Thrones, for example, or Breaking Bad. A lot of people saying, I want the definitive Walter White. I would love that too. So there are other licenses that aren't massive, like Star Wars, Marvel, etc., that I think that these companies should be going after. Or video games. Such an untapped market. Last of Us, exactly. And you can do a line of TV show Last of Us and video game.
I would get both.
I know you would. I know you would. And then
I know you
Tribal will come out and people will be like, well, how dare you? It's video game.
They'll be like, dude, the video game's better. And I do agree. I think the video game is better than the show, but I really like both. I really love it.
I've always argued that with the video game, you're not watching it happen to someone. It's happening to you technically, because you're part of that story. So I'm always I buy in more to the video game style of storytelling because you're there. Like, when you get in that world and you're immersed in it, that's you. That's happening to you. And it's all the jump scares or whatever, a zombie jumping out of you. You are the one who's getting scared, not the character. Dude. Well, mostly also the character, but you.
And dude, and imagine, Justin, that's why I love my video game collectibles more than anything, to be honest. But I will say, think about it like this. Even if we have more competition, one of the main complaints that I have levied, and of course others have said too, with InArt is a lack of releases and announcements, right? If you have other companies besides Hot Toys who come in who are making similar shit to, of course, InArt, J&D, and maybe Infinity, or maybe some other company, right? And they're actually releasing shit quickly. Collector's budget is finite. Like, this is a point where you are going to have to get shit out to get money, where, again, this is going to incentivize everyone to make stuff faster and to make stuff better. So then we all like benefit as collectors, right? So that's something that people need to think about too. The more competitive high-end players there are in the market, the better this is going to be for us. That's what I think.
I like the idea of faster, Will. because I've always said that timing is everything. When a company releases a figure a year after that film has come out, it's not hot anymore.
Nope.
Nobody's clamoring for that character. They want the next hot thing, not the one from 1 or 2 years ago. And Hot Toys is getting quite bad with that. They're 2-3 years. Whereas if a company can do 6 to 8 months, I think that's still within the realm of that hype being a thing. So yeah, faster I think is always better. And even Hot Toys' approach with their Kamen Riders of releasing 100 at that convention and then the rest are coming later, that gets them out now. They get the hype immediately, and then they get the pre-orders for people who have seen the videos and people who have seen the pictures of those, or people who have them and are telling their friends. So it gets word of mouth, and it also gets them the pre-orders for when the rest are coming out later. I think that might be an interesting strategy for them.
Everything
do a limited
well
early release
until the fist fight.
Until the fist fight, of course. Will, I
Yeah.
have watched that show, Kamen Rider Black Sun. It's on Amazon Prime, for those wondering.
Really?
It is very good.
Is
I
it?
thought it was very good.
Is it like Power Rangers? What is it?
Not at all.
Okay.
It is the boys' level of violence,
Ooh.
blood. It's R18, first of all. So, look, the moment where the Kamen Rider guy ripped this guy's head off and threw it at the feet of this girl, I was like, what? And before that, he plunged his hand into this guy's stomach, pulled his intestines out, and he was keeping the guy back from getting to the girl by pulling on his intestines. I was like, what am I watching? But seriously, it's really good. Around episode 8, the story all comes together. It's like X-Men and the boys. It's like there's political stuff going on. It's not like there's one villain. It's not a superhero show. It's like the reluctant hero. He's old. He's like doesn't really want to fight. It's not his battle. It's very, very good, and it's quite a deep story. So yeah, if you want to watch something, you got some time. It's only 10 episodes. They're like 40 minutes long, so it's not going to take forever.
I kind of want to watch this now.
Once the season is over, it's over. You'll see what I mean. So
okay. I kind of want. Dude,
Will,
this sounds amazing, actually. So it's subtitled. I'm guessing it's subbed.
But there, a couple of people do speak English. Like it's very like real world. I guess people who are in Japan and who are Japanese are speaking Japanese. People who speak English speak English. So it's like a bit of both.
Dude, this sounds great. I kind of want to watch it. If it's on Amazon Prime, I'm going to watch it. I didn't know it was out there.
Yeah, it's so good.
But that's the thing. Like Hot Toys can actually introduce you to IPs. Like that's something that I think is pretty exciting. I didn't ever watch that one, but that one that was like the Days of Future Tomorrow or something. I forget what it was. You know what I mean? It was like the guy who was like, I forget the guy's name. It was like, I don't know. I want to say Soap, but that's from Call of Duty, I think. I forget the guy's name. They made those figures.
Oh, right. The one with Chris Pratt in it. Was that
not
the one?
That? Well, that was a good movie, actually. That was.
I haven't watched that, actually. Is it worth watching?
Dude, actually, yes. It got really bad reviews. I thought it was good, actually. It was good.
Okay, I'll watch it.
But you know the one I'm talking about? The characters, people can drop it in the chat, but it was the one I think that Hot Toys made, and they made a limited amount of them. And
right. Yes, the one with the mech that
exactly.
Yes,
and I was like, I don't know what this is, but it looks kind of interesting. So.
Yeah, that one, I never got into that, but everyone at the convention was coming up to me and they're like, Justin, this, and I was like, I don't know anything about it. They're like, watch it. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. So I watched it, and then Steph was there and she was like, what is this show?
You're like, what is this show?
Yeah, but she kind of got into it too, and at the end, because I kept watching it because I felt like I needed to have the insight when I reviewed these things, because I bought them. Of course I had to. I kept watching it, and then she came home and she's like, what the fuck, you finished it? I was like, yeah, I had to. I couldn't wait around for her. She was like, oh, tell me what happened. So then I told her what happened. But yeah, Will, I think you watch that first episode. I think you're gonna like the characters. It's it's a good story, and also it's quite violent, and the special effects are good. Yeah, worth watching.
That sounds pretty great. Oh, there it is. Warriors of Future. Thank you, CL. Appreciate it.
Yes,
that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Warriors.
I had no idea what it was when Hot Toys announced it. I was like, what the fuck is this? It looks cool though. Yeah, I don't either, but it does look pretty cool. And they are waitlisted. So, I mean, yeah. So it's pretty interesting. But guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below on that one, InArt's effect on 1/6 collecting as a whole. That's it, Justin. I have to ask you the question. We are in a time of transition, I feel.
Ooh.
You know, we're getting exclusive things. We're getting, I think, smaller batches, clearly. I mean, Sideshow's been communicating that pretty clearly, I think. But Justin, I'm wondering if Hot Toys is going to start producing, I mean, it could be a twofold thing. It could be we produce maybe just as many characters, but lower volume, or maybe we produce less characters and less volume to create more demand and more engagement overall. But I mean, I'm wondering, Justin, are we going to start to see less supporting characters? Because one thing I have noticed, I'm starting to see these wait lists a little bit more. Some of these not as much, but I mean, I'm starting to see like Kate Bishop and Reva and Grand Inquisitor and stuff like that they know is not like super high moving stuff, you know, and they're just waitlisting more quickly. You know, right now, clearly, I think there's pretty concerted effort from these companies to say, we don't want to sit on mountains of dead stock. We want to create a little more demand. We want to create a little more excitement and get people pre-ordering. Put it bluntly, we want to, people stop pre-ordering. We got to get them pre-ordering it. How do we do it? We make less, right? And stop sitting on dead stock and selling shit for 50% off. That's pretty much what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, Justin, are we going to stop seeing more as many supporting characters, and maybe they'll just boost overall quality of the figures they do make? What do you think?
I think that, look, the way that I would do it if I was Hot Toys, and I'm not saying this is what they will do, but the issue is with supporting characters, waiting 1 or 2 years for a main character maybe is okay, but waiting 2 to 3 years for a supporting character like a Stormtrooper or a Clone Trooper or a Reva or a Fifth Brother or whatever, it's not really what people are interested in doing. And I think that might be one of the biggest reasons why people aren't pre-ordering as much, because they're like, I don't know when I'm going to get this. Like, it could be 5 years from now that I'm going to get this. So what I would do is, like you said, less side characters, more main characters, focus on quality. And this is going to be an interesting one. Let the third parties make the side characters, because who are you going to pair those third party figures with? The main characters, your Hot Toys figures. Them selling means you're selling, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make the characters, you don't have to make a loss, because if they say, oh, bloody hell, we made all of these, I'm trying to think of one that's been sitting around. I don't know. Give me an example.
I would say Cable.
Cable. We made a shitload of cables and nobody's buying it. But the Toy Zero one, that sold out. And it was going for crazy money on the aftermarket. You could argue that, oh, well, if Hot Toys do their own cable, then they can cash in on that too. Not the same, because as you can see, it's still in stock.
Right.
They made too many, or people were waiting too long. This came out how many years after Deadpool 2? Nobody cared about cable at that point, right? They can't be quick enough. They can't focus all of their efforts on these tertiary characters because they're not as important. Cable was really important to the story, but most of them are just side characters. So what I would do is focus on the main characters, let the third party handle the side characters, because they can fight over that. They can spend their own money on that, and Hot Toys don't have to waste any money at all. They can focus all their efforts on the main characters, because that's who these third party figures are going to be paired with anyway. Like Dr. Fate, for example. Some people may not have been interested in getting Black Adam until they saw 5 companies announce a Dr. Fate, someone announced a Hawkman. Now they're, okay, well, now I'm building the Justice Society. Okay, well, now I'm going to get Black Adam. I'm going to get Dr. Fate. I'm going to get... It works well. This is kind of what has been happening for years now, but Hot Toys, I reckon you're right. They should focus on main characters more, because that's their bread and butter. And people are a little bit more willing to wait slightly longer, perhaps, for a main character versus a side character. Because where the hell is Kate Bishop? Although arguably it is kind of her show, but where is Kate Bishop? Bloody
right. Yeah. And dude, they didn't even make Hawkeye from that show. Like, they made Kate Bishop, but they were like, fuck Hawkeye. Like, we're not doing it. Yeah, dude. But I'm wondering, Justin, so it's a tough one, because ultimately it's a good thing that people have more figures to choose from. There's great. A lot of people really want Electro. That's great, right? If you really want Electro, I'm glad that he exists in Hot Toys form, so you can buy it and add it to your collection. But I'm wondering if Hot Toys is starting to maybe take a different approach, where they say, you know what? We're going to kind of focus on charging maybe a little bit more and going after those top tier characters, like Anakin Skywalker, right? That's a character that he's just hot as hell right now. Everyone wants an Anakin Skywalker, right? Like, everyone wants Electro. Yeah, this film came out a while ago, right? but it doesn't quite have the legs long term that Anakin does. Anakin's film came out 20 years ago, and people are still like, and they put up a Heath Ledger Joker. You know how many Jokers have been made, but people are like, oh my God, it's fucking Heath Ledger. You know what I mean? So many.
In my video, I was complaining, Will. I was like, bloody hell, can we let him like
dude, I'm sure like
years,
his likeness has been put on so many collectibles now at this point.
Oh, for sure.
It's Harrison Ford, the opposite. It's like it's the complete opposite of Harrison Ford. Like everything Heath Ledger has been made. Like it's, you know, I'm glad that we're getting more joke. I mean, look, I love that character. I love that actor. It's a great performance and iconic, but I don't know. I mean, it's just, I don't know, bro. I'm starting to wonder, like, I love that these are happening, but maybe if they do keep making all of these characters, just make them smaller batches, which I think they've already started to do. But look, they haven't even done most of the Mando season 3 figures yet. I mean, they haven't done that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Super Troopers and all those guys.
Dude, the Praetorian Guards, Moff Gideon. I mean, that's a lot of stuff too. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're missing out on revenue by not making these characters. I don't know it, but it's just, you know what I mean?
I don't know, a little bit, but they could make up for it with Anakin. Right. Or they could make up for it with Joker. I think line-based collecting, I'd be curious to see a poll on this, actually. There are two types of ways of collecting, like main ones, at least that I can see. Right. Line-based collecting and collecting iconic characters. So InArt's approach is we're not going to do a line. We're only going to make iconic characters. It's the Joker, for example, or it's Gandalf. I highly doubt that they're going to go down that rabbit hole of making every single character in Lord of the Rings. That's the Hot Toy style, line-based collecting. We make a full line, therefore you want to buy all of them. Whereas InArt's approach is very much the statue approach. We'll make one character from one IP. Maybe we'll come back and we'll make another character down the line so you can pair it with it, but maybe not. This character is iconic enough that you will want to pick up just that one character. I'm very curious to see how many people do the line thing and how many people do the iconic character thing. Can we do a poll on that, Will? Is that possible?
I got one running right now. I said, do you collect line? It's 67% no right now. So
see, that's what I mean. So Hot Toys don't need to make the Moff Gideons and Praetorian Guards, especially, like, I love that armor for Moff Gideon. I would buy it for sure. But the first one didn't really sell that well, honestly. No. I really liked it, but a lot of people didn't like the head sculpt. A lot of people said he was a little bit too short. So Hot Toys is sitting there thinking, well, do we double down and make another one? Or do we move on to season 4 or Ahsoka, for example, and make a Sabine Wren? And maybe that's the only character we get from Ahsoka because her outfit is the same from Mando. Why would they make the same thing again? They just did a DX Ahsoka 2 seconds ago.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I do agree with you, Justin, that InArt is clearly taking a different approach. And I think what they're doing is like, I think exactly. I mean, they are going to make Legolas. They did say they're going to make a Nazgul, but I'm starting to wonder if they're actually going to do the Nazgul. I'm starting to wonder if they might say, okay, we'll do Legolas because he is iconic. We'll do the big 3. They're not even probably doing Frodo. Like they're not going to do the whole line. They're just doing the 3 that they know people would most want. And that's really, and those are big iconic characters. Like it's almost like those characters are more iconic than Frodo in some ways, interestingly enough. But I don't know. But I think it's just in figure form, that's how it goes. But I'm starting to wonder, Justin, I'm thinking that we might start seeing less. Like Hot Toys, they've been overwhelmed, dude. They've been trying to
years,
and look, all the TV shows. Maybe they keep doing supporting characters if Disney, like they said, Bob Iger said they were going to do, pull back on the TV shows a bit. Yes. And Hollywood's like, okay, now we need to produce more figures. Then maybe we'll do more supporting characters. But if these shows keep being pumped out the way that they are, like eventually something's going to give. It's going to be less supporting characters would be the move, probably, and less volume.
By the way, Will, just on because Moff Gideon was on display at ACGHK.
Yeah.
16_star something, I assume it's Star Wars, says Hot Toys teased another armorer, but they can't sell out on the other one. That is true. So that's another example, the armorer.
Yep.
Star Wars Pimpazoid. Okay, Star Wars Pimpazoid. Yeah, that is true. The armorer. And I spoke to Jimmy, who is the poser, or one of the posers that Hot Toys has going around doing all the poses. I spoke to Jimmy. First of all, I walked up to Jimmy. I'm like, hi, Jimmy. And before I could even ask him a question, he said no. And I was like, no. This armorer, did you do the pose? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay. And I said, well, when they were posing it, do you know if it's a single bend or double bend elbows? And he was like, I don't know. So yeah,
so right away he was just like, no, no.
Yeah, no. The first. I don't know if he wanted me to, because I don't know if he thought I was going to ask him to like open the cabinet or whatever, but he was just like, no. And I was like, oh,
absolutely.
I was going to ask you a question. He was like, oh yeah, okay.
Okay, then yes.
And then he was like, yeah, I don't know. So even if they don't make any improvements as well, that is even less reason that you're going to want to pick it up. If they show it like Armor 1.0 and it's got like the 90-degree bend, and you know how they do the side by side.
Yeah,
and they have Armor 2.0, and the arms are up here.
Well,
oh my god!
Think about it, Justin. Look, Anakin and Joker, of course, are different, right? But they showed those, they showed those Mandalorian figures, and no one gave a fuck. Like, it's just kind of like, you know what? They're kind of, people are like, those Praetorians are pretty cool. You know how often people in the community talked about those Praetorians or Moff Gideon for like 3 seconds? They were like, you know what? That Anakin is cool, and so is the Predator. And then John Wick was pretty cool. But then like the Praetorian ones and stuff, they look cool, but it just feels like kind of we've explored that territory and people were just ready for something different. I feel like, you know, I think they're communicating that.
I think you're right. Star Wars right now is not, I mean, I was liking season 3 of Mandalorian, and then I don't know, I've kind of forgotten about it. Like I've kind of moved on from it. You know, it's like
I didn't like
enjoyed it.
So it was kind of disposable. Right. Yeah.
Correct. And I think that's most of the Disney Plus content has kind of been that way. Yeah. Whereas other streaming shows kind of stick with you a little bit more, like Ted Lasso. That's like
I've heard that's great.
Got legs. Will, have you not seen Ted Lasso?
I have not.
It's won like 85 Emmys.
No, I know, it's crazy. I've heard, but I'm not watching. Cool. Isn't it on Apple TV though? Isn't it?
It's on Apple TV. It's not. It's number 1 on Apple TV. Yet it's ended like half a year ago, and it's still number 1. Wow. That's how good it is.
Is it? Yeah. Is it like The Office or something? Is it kind of like that?
No, it's just like, it's so wholesome. It just makes you feel good, and the characters are funny. And the drama is interesting, and it's just a really good, entertaining, wholesome show. And I think that's why people, I mean, like, I can't say any more about it. You just have to watch it, and I think you'll like it.
I'll give it a watch. Yeah. But I will say you're onto something, Justin, as far as the more serious shows. One of the shows that I think has really stuck with me is The Boys. Like The Boys, yes. I just love that show. I'm just a huge fan of The Boys. I think it's probably the best show on television. I think when it's running, you know, I think it's fantastic. And I would love, again, a high-end representation of those characters, but it's just, I don't, Star Race, I'm not feeling great about. I'm not feeling
great. RIP Big Chief Studios, obviously, they went under. A lot of folks lost their jobs, so we feel bad for them. Yes. And I don't mean to wish ill on anybody, but surely Star Race can't be far behind with the quality that they're putting out. Like, seriously.
No, I think you're onto something, and I feel bad about that. I think it's true.
At Big Chief, quality was better than 100% better than Star Race every day of the week.
Right.
So Star Race, I think if they don't get their house in order, I think they might be in trouble, because I don't see anyone saying any positive things about any Star Race figures. I have the Rocky. I haven't even entertain the idea of reviewing it yet, because it's just awful.
That would be a pretty funny review, though, I will say.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to have fun with it. But I also ordered a new head sculpt from Jin Toy, the young Rocky with the hat on that I plan.
Nice.
Hopefully I can get that. That's coming in September, so I can do it maybe next month. But right now, just like, and then Matrix and Resurrections and Neo. Oh god,
dude. Dude, people are really going to care about that one. That's for sure. It's an unfortunate one. But guys, we got a couple super chats, Justin, that we want to just first off, I want to we got to get to those. And we did have a comment. I think I got to find it from Mr. Kiko Kalax, a friend of the show, co-host of my Friday show. Good to see Kiko. Too cheap for a super chat, dude. You got NRDs. I totally get it. Too tired to stay and watch. Just want to say you're real and Will Broccoli for the win. Yeah, dude. So Justin, his wife, Amy, shout out to Amy. She does a like, it's like an effect on Instagram where she talks and she's like a floating head of broccoli. And it's really
I see.
It's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. So
excellent.
Yeah, I'll have to show it to you sometime. But so we got some super chats, but I have to scroll. Dude, that's one bad thing about Melon, I will say, Justin. You can't save chat. So I have to go all the way back up.
You can scroll up, baby.
Yeah, so if I miss one, I'm so sorry, guys. I'll try to get to it. Off topic, but did any company make the outfit for the Night Out look at the beginning of the Batman? Do you know, Justin? Because I don't even know what that is.
They called it the there's a name for it. Bloody hell, I've forgotten now. But you know, at the start of the Batman, where he's wearing that like bomber jacket, and he's got the mask covering his face. And he's wearing the baseball cap, and he's on the streets before he puts on the Batman costume. In the train.
Okay, yeah.
So I would have loved to have seen a Bruce Wayne in that outfit. It's not hard, like it's not a hard outfit for a company to make either. I don't know why they didn't. Like a 2-pack Bruce Wayne, so that way you can use that head sculpt that you're getting anyway. That I'm not going to use because I want to have him as Batman, like fully cowled with the cape and all. I'd be curious to do. I might do a poll on one of our next streams. How many people use unmasked head sculpts? Like,
dude,
if you want to represent Batman, don't you want to represent Batman? Like,
dude,
or do you want to represent Bruce Wayne?
See, I think it's more Batman. Like I almost never use the unhelmeted head sculpt.
Yeah,
like never.
But we always want them.
Yeah, we do want them, and we complain when they're not good, but we don't use them.
Yeah, but we never use them.
Yeah, exactly.
Portland, Bruce. Charlie, I don't think that was quite the name. I think they call him like, it's like a motorcycle term. It'll come to me as we're recording, and I'll just shout it.
Motorcycle man. Yeah, it's something like that. Dude, it's something like that. But thanks for the super chat. Civilian Sal collects. Good to see you, bro. Justin, any plans on selling Marion Cobretti? I don't know who is that. That
is the Sly Stallone figure of Cobra. So one of his movies that he's in the 80s that I reviewed. No, Sal. So Sly Stallone himself actually selected my channel and D Knight's channel to review that figure.
Nice.
His company made that. So he sent it to me. So I won't be selling that because that's a little bit sentimental. I'm a massive Sly fan, Rocky, Rambo, etc. So I'll be holding on to that one that was sent to me by the team at Sly Stallone Shop and maybe even Sly himself. So yeah, that one's a keeper.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. That's dude, to get a figure from Sly himself, man. That's
my dad was so excited.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, he loves Sylvester Stallone.
Well, we got a super chat. Brooklyn, good to see you, Brooklyn. Brooklyn Wolf the Creator. You'd have to be blind. Hot Toys bootlicker to think InArt had no effect on Hot Toys. Strong language, but I don't think. I think you would have to. Yeah, you'd have to be pretty oblivious to think that they've had no effect. I mean, I think so.
Of course, they're the same market, the same scale, similar price tag. Of course, they're gonna have effects on each other. What Hot Toys does, InArt will learn from. What InArt does, Hot Toys will learn from. But not quite enough because I still want those seamless wrists. So
yeah, I think so too. Dude, come on now. This Wenwu was amazing, but give him seamless wrists.
Oh, like if he had both options, you can still do wrist pegs. It's fine. Right. But if you do like the kung fu poses, like all of those gestures that he had with the rings, but seamless, well,
that would have been the move.
Well, that would have been the move.
It still looks great.
Forearms on Mi Shang-Chi, and it's a big upgrade.
It is. Well, Brooklyn, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. And then, so we talked about the Batman one. We did that one. Thank you so much, Ryan. Mark Lee said, competition is a great thing. Collectors like myself want all the Jokers. I guess there's a segment of people out there. There are people who only collect Batman and have whole rooms for Batman. It is true, Mark. It is true. Batman is super hot, dude, which we are going to talk about him next, actually. We're going to talk about
and Superman, too. I know some collectors who only collect Christopher Reeve Superman, and anything Christopher Reeve Superman, like statues, figures, lunchboxes, whatever, they'll collect that. Like, we forget that there are some really hardcore collectors of certain like one character things out there that have like, they're always the ones on like the news. Like you're watching the news, they're like, we have gone to the house of Jimmy and Jimmy loves Superman and here's his Superman room and he spent X amount. Like there are collectors like that out there for sure.
It's true. Absolutely. Well, Mark, thank you so much, bro, for the super chat. And we got one more. So Fatal the Collector. Perfect example is EA purchasing. Dude, trust me, I know this better than anyone. EA purchasing the NFL exclusivity, halting 2K. Madden sucks now with mediocre upgrades. Competition, better products. Hot Toys stepping up. I used to be a huge Madden player, Justin. American football, the Madden version. So basically, I used to run leagues and franchises and stuff, CFMs, and I loved it. But it just got, after a while, it's like, dude, the updates were so trash, and they never updated the game. Like EA just never gave a fuck. And every year, people would complain, and nothing would get changed. And then next year, they'd be like, well, we hear you, we're gonna change this, and then they just never fucking change it. So it's so basically, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And that's honestly what Hot Toys was kind of doing until InArt came along. And now it's like, now we got 2K back in the fold, baby. And now that's pretty much what's happening. Yeah. So.
Now we got to do it. But I think license exclusivity is not beneficial to anyone, including the license holders. Right. Why would you want only one company to make shit from your movie? Like that limits the amount of money that you can make too.
I've never understood that. Yeah.
It's very odd. Like, why would you be so
I remember John said that, Justin. Remember about The Boys? He was like,
Yes,
yeah, he said
true.
Amazon said we have Star Ace, so we're good. Yeah, like it's
Really? Like, even if you did, even if Star Ace was making the best The Boys figures ever, wouldn't you still want more? Like,
right.
it's just having variety out there for your IP means that you have more avenues for collectors to go down, high end, low end, whatever. So I've never understood that. That's just wild to me. That, and Seyfel says license reputation. Yeah, maybe, but that's on a case per case basis. Like, giving a license to InArt is very different to giving a license to Star Race.
Right.
So, and they did that. So,
well, I think these companies don't really follow these communities that closely,
Could
and
be.
they just like they look at it from a distance, and they're just like, well, I don't really know you, so I'm not going to give it to InArt. Like, they might be amazing, but they don't know them, so they're just like,
could be. I feel bad for whoever's running the licensing department, because if you're running the licensing department and your whole job is licensing your properties to make toys,
yeah,
you should know a little bit about the toys that you're giving the licenses to, like, just a little bit. Because can you imagine that, Will? It's like you go into the boardroom, it's like, yeah, so we gave a license to this company. It's like, do you know what they make? Oh, fuck no. Moving on.
I got the money. That's it. That's all I care about.
Got the money, baby.
Yeah,
but,
dude. Could you imagine InArt the Boys, though, man? InArt the Boys.
Oh, dude.
Whoa.
Can you imagine? And Homelander, like,
I mean, he would come out in like 2028, but like it would be amazing when it did get to your door. So it's
that's So Toys Homelander. Did it actually release or no?
That's a good question. They said it did, but then like no one got it, did they?
I didn't get it. I mean,
yeah. So if you didn't get it, I would assume
I've
no
reviewed
one
like
else
85 Homelanders at this point, so I'm Homelanded out. But you know, I don't think we've had. I really, really love the Toy Zero one, the latest one.
Yeah.
But I still don't think we quite have the perfect Homelander, because you can't fold down the flap on his thing.
Oh, dude, that's
I think
huge.
you need to have that. You need to have that.
Yeah, that's a big part. I mean, he does that, I would say, in the show every so often. I mean,
well, that little thing of him in the mirror, like,
yeah, exactly. Like flipping it back and forth. Like
it
almost feels like it was improv or something. I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah. But Justin, we have time for one more topic here, so we're gonna tag one more, and we're gonna create some division because InArt Batman does it put Hot Toys to shame? And Justin, I want to share some photos here, and I have something I just brought up just briefly, right? So what I'm gonna do, honestly, I'm gonna go sculpted to sculpted on this one. Because of course you can go premium, you can go rooted, and of course, yeah, it probably does, right? But if Justin, you saw these, figures in Vegas, you actually reviewed them. You reviewed the InArt Batman, and yours. Did you have the rooted head sculpt in that one? I can't remember.
It was there, but I was not allowed to show it because it wasn't final.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
okay.
I held it and I looked at it, like it was literally physically there, but it was nowhere near as good as the final version.
Yeah, because they updated that head sculpt and it looks really strong, actually. But again, if we're looking at just sculpted to sculpted, right, the prices are pretty much the same. Like you're pretty much paying the same price for InArt that you are for the Hot Toys. So I don't know. Dude, I'm not the biggest fan of this film. I like it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was good. I liked it, Justin. I didn't love it. I thought I need to watch it again, but I was like, it's good. I viewed it as kind of mid. I was like, it's good. I liked it, right? But Kiko and I call him the mid man as a joke. But dude, I don't love. Riley loves this film, but I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah, that world is so it feels so lived in and so gritty and so noir, and it's such a vibe. Like you sit there and you're in this dark, gloomy world, and you understand why there needs to be a Batman, because shit is going down and the police can't do anything about it. Like, it just gets me every time I watch it, and the sound, the music. Oh damn!
Right. Yeah. And I see a couple comments, by the way, guys. I see they're saying 380 shipped on 1.6 kit. I get that, but I pulled it up spec fiction price. It's 410 free shipping. So we're gonna go with that. Say it's 380 though. Either way, the question still remains the same. Justin, did InArt put Hot Toys to shame? I'm gonna say yes on this one. What do you think?
I've seen both in person now, by the way. So I have no allegiance. I don't care. I'll be getting both and reviewing both. So it's in my best interest for them both to be amazing, because I know people are like, you bloody fanboy of whatever. No. The texture, I'm looking at the texture alone. The texture on the InArt cowl and the InArt outfit is incredible. I have never seen as fine of a texture as I have seen. It's kind of like statue outfit texturing. You know when you get a statue's really well-textured fabric that looks like real fabric?
Yep.
The chest plate on this Batman is the one thing that has stuck with me since I held it in Vegas. That chest plate was insane. And honestly, I think the proportions are a little bit better. There's something about the Hot Toys one that looks a little bit top-heavy. And I don't know if that's the head sculpt or what, but it just looks so real. And that's what you want. You want the realism. Even that picture right there.
Right.
The shoulders sit quite low. The chest is very high. The shapes aren't quite as angular. Like that chest plate is quite smooth. It's not bad, not by any means. If you're getting the Hot Toys one, get really excited. It's going to be fantastic. But in a vacuum, this would have been the best. But I think that InArt one, it edges it out at pretty much every level. Having seen both in person and no allegiance, I promise you, I don't care which one is going to be better because I'm going to get them both and I'll review them for you, then you can decide. But seriously, just the proportions alone, like you can see that, right?
Yeah.
The shoulders, the traps, how the arms lay on the body, that head sculpt, and the fierceness of the expression. Like he's got this really mean furrowed brow. The likeness in that mouth plate and the texture there too is just fucked. Like seriously, this is one of the best figures that I've ever seen and held in person.
That's what I've heard, Justin. I heard everyone who went to Vegas, they were like, that figure is incredible.
That was a standout.
It's definitely a standout. I also heard Pennywise was, to be fair. I heard Pennywise
was really good.
Yeah.
I do not like the horror vibes, but I know you do. And I think you're going to be it's 100% better than the Hot Toys one. A lot of people didn't like the Hot Toys one. The collar issue, his outfit was too clean. The hairstyle apparently wasn't quite right, and the neck was too long. There was certain things that weren't quite right, but the base on the Hot Toys I really liked. How putting the head sculpt in the base, that was so clever.
And Hot Toys has made some updates to the Batman figure. However, I just feel like, look, at the end of the day, remember originally, Justin, all of us thought when InArt first came onto the scene, they were like, InArt's creating a new level, a new tier. Like they're charging prices that we haven't seen before. Not so much the case anymore. Like, can we
bring up the updated pictures of the Hot Toys because people are saying they fixed the proportions. I know they've made changes to the proportions, guys. Destin and Daniel, I know that they have made changes to the proportions. I've seen the latest prototype in person, and it's still not quite as realistic looking to me as the InArt one. So I know they've made changes. We're not trying to say that they haven't. They definitely have. Here we go.
Right, and they changed it. So that looks like the update. I mean, it still looks
still low. The chest is still high. He doesn't have that V taper. He flares out at the hips. He looks quite chonky down at the hips. Can you see that? How he sort of bell bottoms out a little bit?
Yeah.
So the proportions are still a thing, like I said. And the neck looks a little bit long to me. Or is it like the collar and then it's the proportions is the one thing that, I don't know. I don't think
it's definitely better. It's definitely better.
Oh, it's definitely better for sure.
But it's just a matter of the InArt one looks so lived in, you know, like it looks like a real person. Yeah. And like I remember, Justin, some people were originally with the InArt one with Vegas, they were complaining it was too green. I was like, no, it's accurate from my understanding of the film. Like it has like sort of a green sort of military vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the suit, the real life suit, it has this kind of dirty greenish yellowish, it's got like an oil sort of, it's hard to explain, but I've actually seen the suit in person as well, and the InArt one is very accurate to the suit. It's kind of like the Joker Joaquin Phoenix suit, where in the final product, it was very dark, but the real suit was quite vibrant red. That real suit, which I was standing in front of in Japan, it's very, very vibrant. So it's kind of like your mind's eye versus the real practical thing. But they could always dial that down for the final product, which I wouldn't imagine is too far away. I cannot wait to get this. This is going to be absolute beast. And put it in that bloody jazzing Batmobile that in and of itself is a beast. Seriously.
Right. Dude, Justin, this is like probably the figure I've been most tempted for a character I don't really care that much about. Like I look at this figure.
The movie again. And
well, I'm going to watch it again because I really every time I look at this figure, I'm like, this is a fucking awesome figure. Like this is a really, really well. And again, if the proto comes out like the final, sure, well, I guess we'll see. Right. But like all things considered, if this comes out like it's looking in the proto, damn. This figure
You don't have a Batman, do you, Will? You sold your DX19.
I sold my DX because I was waiting for InArt. I was waiting for InArt for the Christian Bale.
Now you can get the Armory one.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I will. But I don't want the whole armory. I just want the Batman.
Yeah, I don't want the armory either. I'm going to keep the Batman and sell the armory.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to do that, though, which is the problem because everyone's going to sell it and it's going to flood the market. Like
There's
everyone's
gonna be
just
too many
going to.
clear plastic armories.
Exactly. They're going to be everywhere, dude. They're going to be everywhere. But I you know, overall, I mean, the Hot Toys is good. But again, when we're looking at pricing, it's pretty much the same. If not, Hot Toys maybe a little more expensive. And I think the InArt is just, I think, a whole step above. I just think as far as prototypes go. And I actually like the base on this one a little bit more. It's simple, but it's kind of cool.
True.
But the magnets thing, Justin, I'm not crazy about the magnet base thing. You know how
I don't know. The magnets, I don't know some people have had issues with the magnets, but mine has never fallen and it's still standing. It's been there the whole time. But some people have had issues. Maybe the way around it is that, like, you know how they did on DX Indie, that new like calf clamp that sort of came up around the pants. That's very clever. I love that little innovations like that. I love
that. Had to have been because of InArt, right? I mean, come on, like, dude.
I mean, DX Joker Hot Toys looks like a magnetic base. I don't see a crotch grab anywhere. Although there was a rock at the back of the base that ominously looked like it had been plugged in, where a crotch grabber would be able to go. So you could always do both. Like magnets.
Well, that was my thought with InArt. John seems to like think that they have no interest in that, though. I'm like, why not just put a little peg in the base that you can cover if you don't want to use the crotch grabber? But if you do, then you could do that. I think that'd be perfect. But
just integrate it into, like, that base has got like this bat signal style, like all these panels. One of those panels can just be able to be removable, and then you can still do like a clear plastic crotch grabber, for example, rather than this big black visible one. So there are ways to do it that aren't super ugly, but just give collectors that peace of mind, because I feel the same way. Like, if I walk into the room and something is fallen, and it's
dude,
always the nose. It's
always I got lucky.
Nose. Oh my God. They always fucking hit the module case. The nose goes. Oh my God.
The nose is fucked at that point. I got lucky because when my Joker fell on the floor, it hit the carpet. So I was very lucky.
You're lucky.
But I got back and I was like, fuck, this Joker just got here and this bitch is on the floor. Like, dude, I was so upset. Luckily it was fine, but yeah. So, but yeah, man, but I'm going to watch it again, guys. Cause Justin, I've been telling you, I haven't told the people yet, I guess, publicly. So I will sometimes rewatch things or revisit things and enjoy them. Dude, I think I love The Last of Us 2. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. I think something's wrong with me. I've been playing, well, because I played the first Last of Us and then I was like, I played the Last of Us 2 originally, hated it, right? And then I was like, okay, let's try it again. I played it again. I was like, fuck, I think I liked it. And then now I'm playing it a third time and I'm like I started playing God of War again and I was like, I want to play Last of Us 2 again. I was like, dude, I think I like it. I think I like it a lot. So yeah, it's crazy. So I'm gonna watch the Batman for Riley. I'll watch it for Riley. And
I need to watch Dune again, or Dune.
Dude.
Because the second one's coming out. Everyone's making Paul Atreides figures. I think that if I'd seen it in the cinema, it would have been a different situation. But because COVID had shut down all of our cinemas, we could only watch it at home. Right. And it wasn't the same vibe. So I'm going to try and watch it right. I'll turn all the lights off, put the surround sound on. I'll get a little popcorn. I'll give myself a cinematic experience. Or I'm hoping there's a cinema locally that replays movies, like they're doing a double feature of Infinity War and Endgame soon, and I might go and do that. Yeah,
that sounds great. If I ever come to Australia, we'll go to that. We'll go to that. Yeah, because I would love to go to a double take like that. But yeah, man, I dude. And by the way, people were commenting, asking me if I'm an Abby stan now. I still don't really like Abby that much, but I love the game. Like, it's super weird, but
he's indifferent. I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty much indifferent to Abby, but I do love Ellie regardless. So yeah. Pretty interesting. So, guys, we are going to wrap the show there. Thank you so much for contributing. The poll results, Justin, were actually pretty interesting. It's only 57% InArt versus Hot Toys for the Batman. Like, for the Batman specifically.
What about the line collecting thing?
Oh, yeah. I got to look back at that. I don't know. I think it was like pretty heavy no. I think it was
okay.
Oh, yeah. See, no, actually, it was pretty close. Do you collect lines? 51% said yes, actually. Yeah.
Wow. That is very close.
Apparently, people still collect lines, but do they really? Because every poll I've run, it's like, people have limited budgets, like myself, and like they don't buy everything. So if you're not collecting full lines, then because if you did, then your budget would be like through the roof. So, yeah. And if you were collecting like the Obi-Wan line, for example, you would have the Grand Inquisitor, you'd have Reva, you'd have Vader, you'd have Kenobi, like
all the other brothers and sisters if they make them.
They keep showing them, but I don't
Not
think they're gonna make
Not
them.
necessary.
I don't
It's
think
not it. Please no. Please don't. Red in the lead something says light some candles, a glass of wine. Wait, lol. Yes, maybe. I'm going to this special screening of Wes Anderson's Asteroid City tonight. I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan. I love Grand Budapest Hotel. It used to be my favorite movie of all time, but now it's Everything Everywhere All at Once. But
nice.
Yeah, they having this wine special, so you go in and you get a glass of wine and you mingle, and then you go and watch the movie.
Dude, everything. I'm gonna give another hot take. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I liked it. It was good, but I didn't. It wasn't like I was crazy while like I wanted to watch it again. You know,
that's my favorite movie of all time.
All Quiet on the Western Front was better in my opinion. I love
I've
that.
not seen that,
dude. It's on Netflix. It's a war movie, so it's very dark, but it just I've never been more immersed in an atmosphere than that film. Like that film.
I'll go and
watch it, dude. But just beware because it's like people are getting run over with tanks and getting flamethrowered. It's a World War I film. So but it's dude, it got nominated for a ton of Oscars last year. It's so good. So good.
Okay, I will go and watch it. And
also,
you need to watch Kamen Rider Black Sun.
I actually will because you recommended it. And it sounds pretty good. It sounds like the boys. Riley, I don't trust Riley though, Justin, because I guess you don't either. Riley said he thought Lord of the Rings was boring. And I was like, get the fuck out of here, Riley. I was like, get out of here.
Look, Riley, I'm with you. I'm sorry, but it's one of those movies. Like, you know how you watch Rocky, Will, and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
It's because it's like it back in that time, like it was a different era. And some films are quite era specific. Like I still love Rocky because I was exposed to it like ages and ages ago. Whereas like they were still making Rocky movies. Rocky 6 came out while I was still, able to go. Like it wasn't before my time. I saw it in the bloody cinema. So I think Lord of the Rings, it just hits different for me because I wasn't in that bubble of wow, this is the best trilogy ever of all time. This is amazing. Right. When now I'm watching it, I'm like, what did he just do to that moth? Like fucking, and then he's like, it's like what? and then the woman at the start who's like narrating, and it was like very confusing. She's like, so the ring is this, and then it goes in the cave, and then it's out of the cave, and then it does this, and it's found by this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So no, I did not get into it, unfortunately. I really tried. I
got you into Game of Thrones and God of War.
You did. I love Game of Thrones now and God of War 2. Final Fantasy is still a question mark. I played up until the motorcycles, and then this guy came out on his motorcycle and he was like hitting on me. But like
he was
like a really weird, it was like a sexual tension there, but only on one side and like on his side.
Right.
So I'm for now I've checked out on Final Fantasy a little bit. I'll come back to it though, Will. I
give it another shot. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's still a still a good game though. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. And we covered a lot of great topics this evening. And of course, Justin, dude, there's got to be things on the channel coming up. Of course, you did the jazzing Batmobile. Yes, Will. What else is coming to you? Because I know you're reviewing probably the best figure of the year, the Keanu Reeves, Neo.
Yeah.
So
Matrix Resurrections Neo. I'm so excited about that.
100K views first day.
I will finish that today. But the one that I'm actually excited about is the new 3.0 DLX scale Transformers 2 Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. That just arrived, and that thing is absolutely incredible. Will, I've never seen engineering like this before. When you bend, there's a tank tread that goes over his knee. When you bend his knee, the tank tread moves along with the knee. It is insane.
Was it Megatron or Optimus, you said?
Megatron, the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. It's rusty, dirty looking. I love the design for Megatron and Revenge of the Fallen. So yeah, I'm really excited to do that. I'm also doing, this is a funny story actually.
Yes.
I'm doing So Toys Kingpin, the new 2.0 one. And yes, that is the boy. Look at him.
Dude.
He's a rusty, filthy looking, nasty. Yeah, he's absolutely incredible. He's so heavy too. He's full of metal.
I saw the Transformers figures at Kiko's house in Tennessee, and I was like, those are pretty damn impressive, actually.
Dude, the engineering is incredible.
Yeah.
I was reviewing this Kingpin yesterday, Will. But before I was reviewing the Kingpin, I'm 3D printing a statue right now, which I told you about.
Yes.
And sometimes when you're separating the supports from the statues, it can be a little bit, it cut me. It sliced my thumb because it's quite hard to, they can get quite prickly. So anyway, I cut my thumb. Fucking hell. But I needed to review this Kingpin anyway. So I put some like antiseptic on there. I did like an hour. I thought it was fine. Kingpin's outfit is white.
You bled
And
all over
I'm-
the figure.
All over, just a little bit.
Dude, come on now. Well, you could always return it and be like, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I
like
managed to. I got a baby wipe straight away, and I managed to wipe
like you
it off.
sent
But
me
that
the
was
battle
first
damage
time-
version. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
I
battle
don't know what to
damage.
say.
That was the first time that ever happened to me. But yeah, because if I ever do injure myself, I try and hide it from the camera because nobody wants to see a nasty wound on someone's hand. I don't want a band-aid either because it's drawing attention to it. So I try and hold the figure in a certain way where you can't see it. But yeah, I did get a little bit
Did a little bit of blood on the
skin.
figure. Well, if you ever resell it, just make sure you make that clear. Be
I'll
like,
wash it. I will.
This
Of course,
figure
I'll
was
wash
bled
it.
on at one point.
Hospital quality wash. Steph was like, "I'll wash it for you." I'm like, "Yes, please do."
Yes, please, a baby wipe, dude. That's
Yes.
crazy. Do baby
Yeah, that
wipes
was a-
work? I mean, do they work on the figures like that? Do they?
Well,
clean
because
stuff
it
up?
was still wet, it came off straight away. It was literally
Nice.
like a pinprick, like one little dot. Like it's not like it was covered, like gushing in blood.
Oh, okay, it wasn't just like
Yeah,
a whole fucking Okay.
No. Yeah, it was a tiny little.
Right.
So yeah, that happened. That happened. So anyone who watches the review, you'll know. Those bark speeders will.
Yeah.
I got to review them.
Do you have to?
I have them here, both.
Can you get out of it?
I wish I could. And no, literally, not a single person has asked me where my review is for those.
Mm.
Not even
Well,
one person.
It should tell
So,
you
does
something,
anyone
dude.
really want to see?
Justin, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. I'm gonna end the stream soon, but I wanted to show people this. Did you ever see the movie Dracula Dead and Loving It? I don't know if anyone in the
I did
chat.
not.
Dude, this is what I think of when I think of your Kingpin. Like,
Oh my god!
dude,
Not quite,
That's pretty-
unfortunately.
that's pretty much your Kingpin, bro. I can only,
Pretty much.
I don't know if anyone's ever seen that movie. It's so fucking funny, dude. It's really old school, but it's like
Maybe I'll
he
watch
tries to base
seen
this girl's been
Renfield?
bitten by the Dracula, and he's like, oh well, we got to figure something out, and he hits the spike, and she just bleeds everywhere.
Oh my
So,
god!
Yeah, that's your
Yeah,
Kingpin.
you need to watch Renfield, Will. I really
Is
like
it good?
It's so good. I loved it. It was so good. I've seen it twice now, in fact.
Nice.
I
need to
watched it
watch
with Ryan, though, and Ryan was sitting there the whole movie. He was like,
Is it a cultural
Like,
difference, you think?
people's arms were being ripped off and everything, and he's just like,
He's
I'm
just
sitting there
like
like, "Oh,
unfazed.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally. And at the end, I was like, Ryan, what's wrong with you? And he's like, oh, I was just taking it in.
I was just
"Oh,
taking it in.
okay."
He's too
But yeah,
young.
maybe
man.
it's a cultural vibe, cultural.
It could be
difference.
culture difference or age difference. I'm not sure. It's one of the two. Maybe
Yes,
these
true. He's
kids-
a young lad. Maybe young lads aren't impressed because we, that type of violence is sort of it wasn't commonplace in our time.
right.
Every now and then you get an R-rated movie, but most of the time, oh, PG-13. But now, like, we've got The Boys, and
Yeah.
we've got Renfield, and we've got John Wick, and we've got
John
Equalizer.
Wick.
I'm really excited for Equalizer 3, Will. Denzel.
Dude, I actually have not seen Equalizer before. I've seen
Ooh.
clips. And I've heard good
I
things.
think
I love
you're right.
Denzel. He's fucking awesome. But
Yeah,
never
the
watched it.
first Equalizer movie is really, really good. The
Mm.
second one is quite good, but not as good as the first one, I don't think. But like he's kind of like John Wick, but a different
Right.
spin on it. A little bit of different.
I wonder
spin.
why it didn't catch on like John Wick did. Because John Wick,
Well,
yeah, I
caught on
mean,
enough to make 3.
that's true. John Wick, they've
Yeah.
made 4 though.
Or
So
maybe
it's caught
a
on one
5th.
level
I don't know.
higher.
Some
Mad
person
man.
said, well, they can't make a 5th John Wick because of the ending. I'm like, but
Yeah, I
because the
think
dog sort of did a little bit of a look off to the side.
I
He was
think they
excited
will
about
find a
something.
way. I think
Of
there will
course.
be a way. Because they've already been
Yeah.
rumors about it. They've been like, yeah, we're making a 5th one. And of course, they're going to make spinoffs. They've already said that. So,
Yes, true. But
We'll see.
hopefully they get a 5th. We want a John Wick. We want John
That's
Wick.
true. We do. We do. And Hot Tubs, we want the John Wick. Anyway, guys, we are going to wrap it there. Thank you so much for joining us. Leave your comments below. Of course, these will be clips. Justin will see the clips on
Hey.
YouTube. I know the clips are always fun, man, because it's
I love
just, people who don't have time to watch the full stream, you can go back and watch the clips and you get to watch all the fun stuff. So, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for the generous super chats, for the generous comments, everything in between. Lots of content coming from Justin, of course, and lots of content coming from me. And maybe Justin, I'll be on Justin's stream. We're going to do streams there from time to time. And I don't know when our next one
I have some cos babies to unbox, Will.
is. Then I got to be there for it because that's
I
kind of
bought
an
a
essential thing.
full pack. I was at Secret Base. First thing I ever purchased from Secret Base. I was there with Ryan, and I saw the Flash cos baby wave that's all Batman and only one Flash.
Yeah.
And I said to the lady, I was like, if I buy this box, will I get them all? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll take it.
That's sold. Say less.
So they're going to be mystery. They're going to be blind boxes. It's going to be so fun. I got lots of blind boxes. One that's Hot Toys. One that's Pop Mart. They're all Batman. So we're going to do some. It's going to be a new segment. Some mystery blind box unboxings.
With the coming babe on the way, the cost babies could be helpful. So
true. I gave the little one my Hot Toys Winnie the Pooh. It's now in the nursery. So
dude, perfect.
Yeah.
See, Hot
my
Toys
child
is
already
improving.
has a Hot Toys figure, or two technically, because it's a 2-pack with Piglet.
Oh,
so there you go.
That sounds like a win right there, dude. I forgot if that figure existed. That was such a unique one. That's such a unique one for Hot Toys. You got to give them credit for that one.
It was limited too. It was Hong Kong exclusive.
Exclusive, baby. Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it there. Thank you so much for joining. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. See you later. Bye. Bye.